What is going on, everyone? It has been a while, but welcome back to another exciting edition of White and Nerdy Casts. As you can see, I moved over the last few weeks, so apologies for not making as many, really not making any videos, but excited to be back at it and once again partnering with a streamer. Just, love the League community. Sometimes you can just meet people in your games, and it turns out they're pretty friendly, pretty great. Partnering with Mr. Clean D's Nuts in League of Legends. He's going to be playing Jhin in this game, also known as xxTeSLaCoiLxx on Twitch. If you haven't already, go check him out. Give him a follow. Great League content on there. So let's get right into it. Super excited to do this for you guys. Has definitely, as I said, it's definitely been a while. As usual, going to give a quick rundown of the runes and starting items and take a look at the invade pathing before we quite get into it all the way. So, as we can see, blue team, we got Gwen. Super contested pick right now. Interesting that JStar96 on the Gwen is going Flash TP. I feel like pretty often, and I think the better summoner spell set we see is Teleport Ignite. Just a little bit more powerful. You don't really need the flash. You've already got a dash in built. Your W really helps you dodge. A lot of the initial CC lets you get away from some ganks as well. Poppy jungle, love seeing Poppy with the Divine Sunder buffs. Feels like she's gotten a lot better. Dark Harvest, definitely a very decent rune to take. Both junglers opting for the red smite here. Absolutely love challenging smite. Just really, and actually both opting for Dark Harvest, which is awesome. Really just going for those duels and one-shots. Brand mid for Damned Boy. Haven't seen it too much. Definitely powerful. Great that he's against a control mage, because one of Brand's weaknesses is obviously that he's extremely immobile, can have a very tough time against more mobile assassins. Hopefully he'll be able to hold his own against Ziggs. Jhin Lulu in the bot lane, including Mr. Clean D's Nuts. I love the Dark Harvest on Jhin, just so much raw power, especially when you've got a support to give you a little bit extra survivability. You don't necessarily need the fleet footwork. And then in the top lane for the red team, we've got the Jax. Got the Corrupting Potion, just a little bit of extra sustain. Always love to see that. Ziggs mid, as we mentioned. Taking Exhaust is a little bit odd against Brand. Feels like you're not really going to be in range to use it all that often. And Ezreal Xerath for Takumi and Cooler Than You for the red team. Very, very annoying lane. Just going to be super filled with poke. It's definitely going to be up to Mr. Clean D's Nuts and Sakura Rain to try and make the play. They will be getting outpoked by the Conqueror Ezreal and the Comet Xerath. Both junglers actually starting red side, and if we look at the Poppy jungle pathing, Gerard is going right to the Wolves, not clearing either of the camps in the bot side of the jungle, and Wraiths are actually relatively easy, or Raptors, relatively easy to clear for Poppy. So interesting that she's kind of going this red, Wolves, blue path. Let's see if maybe she makes it into an early gank on the top side. We do see Connor H with the level advantage already using the Leap Strike to try and bully J-Star. Gwen usually the bully, and I assume we will see that happening. Not too much action in the bot lane just yet. A lot of poke just being traded back and forth. A lot of CSing as well. Great CS already for both AD carries. Cooler Than You taking a bit of a burst. Red team has already traded back pretty well onto Sakura Rain. But overall, pretty peaceful game so far. I like 19 USD Fortnite credits. Very funny username, but also I like his jungle path a lot. Just really clearing the top side, starting red. Don't necessarily need the leash on Graves. You can see he's already a level up. It's taking Poppy a little bit longer to clear. And a little bit of a less optimal route, just skipping two camps along the clear. Should be here for top scuttle and may also look for a gank in the top lane. Connor H just continuing to pressure forward, using the Counter-Strike, flashing forward, looking for the first blood. He's going to get it. Gets knocked back into the tower, so they trade 1 for 1 there. Both flashes used as well. First blood gold going to Connor H on the Jax, but assist gold going to blue team. Should put them slightly ahead in that lane. Is down CS as well. Both top laners just going to use their teleports right away. J-Star is a level down, hopefully able to pick up some, but here we may see a return gank. Oh, but Connor H does get the ward, so it's just going to be the scuttle taken for Poppy. Graves, in the meantime, was not really doing anything. Just grabbed a couple extra camps. Feels like he should get some pressure on the scuttle, get some pressure bot, do something while he's waiting. And while he sees a gank, and now he is going to start looking bot. We've also got Poppy looking top at the same time. We're going to focus on the bot lane here. Ooh, Arcane shifting forward from Takumi. No CC from the Graves, especially now that the red buff is worn off. They're just going to have to walk away and give that up. In the top lane, Connor H also just able to jump away, so nothing coming from these secondary ganks from the junglers. Graves going to head right back in, probably take Gromp, look for the recall. Junglers definitely want to be spending their gold reasonably early. You can see both junglers sitting on almost 1,000 gold. Such a big power spike to just take a first back by maybe a Jhin, a Phage, Serrated Dirk, depending on exactly which items we're going for. And we do see the Phage, another great item picked up by Gerard. Definitely like to see that. CS pretty even across the board. Definitely a very even game. For all I said, 19 USD Fortnite credits path wasn't great. Turns out it's good enough. He's still up 8 CS as Gerard has been spending a lot of time in the top lane looking for ganks. And here we go. We may have a fight here. Oh, the stun missing though. That's all the CC that Damned Boy has. Fortnite cred should just be able to get away. Oh, the explosives not quite great. Getting hit by the charge. Penguinator taking a lot of damage. That is a Tark Harvest proc the flash stun. Oh, Damned Boy, just take one more auto attack. Use it Ignite. Oh, you gotta do something there. That should be the kill. But alas, Penguinator just able to walk away. Didn't use either summon or spell. Kinda greedy, but hey, who am I to say? It worked out. So, no worries at all. Lost my scoreboard, so gotta pull that up once again. Just taking a look at some of the items. First items bought. We see a Jhin for Connor H. I think he may have had that first back. I'm not 100% sure. Should help him a lot in these short trades against J-Star. Neither bot lane has backed. That was the first back in the mid lane by Penguinator. He's just picking up a tier of the goddess. That really all he has gold for is Sakura Rain. Gets jumped on here. Sorry, I should have been paying better attention there. Mr. Clean D's nuts, very clean flash to get away. Tosses out the Deadly Flourish, trying to connect with a snare. Does not work. I'm just enamored. You know, this Ziggs has 670 gold. All he bought was a tier. Feels like could have picked up an Amplifying Tome, some boots. Don't exactly know what he's saving up for, but hey, that's how it is. Now, red team bot lane able to just push it straight in. Not sure what Jared's trying to accomplish. Maybe just going to come soak up this wave as red team's bot lane probably should be backing. Don't want the wave to go to waste. Will help that Poppy kind of get back into it as Connor H looking for a short dive, jumping in with the leap strike and the counter strike. Not able to really find anything, but J-Star's just about out of mana, and Connor managed to cancel that last tower shot, which means he's actually pretty healthy. J-Star has to be very careful here. Again, no Ignite, opted for the flash. Didn't save him in the last fight. Ignite might have helped, but who knows. So 1-2 currently in favor of the red team, and I hope that my audio is working okay. I may turn it up real quick just to make sure you guys can hear the game sound okay. I know my voice is going to be loud. This might carry sound just fantastic. So make sure that the game sound is okay. Oh, that sounds a little better. I can hear it a little bit more clearly. Perfect. Looks like Takumi getting a little bit pressured here. By the bot lane, obviously is up a little bit of CS, has a Phage against the Noon Quiver, so fairly even as the tier, not really offering any combat stats at all. Of course, I keep losing the scoreboard. Perfect. Yeah, and then no major items done yet. Graves, as I mentioned, did grab a Serrated Dirk plus a Longsword, so maybe going for the Eclipse. Could also potentially be going for Duskblade or Prowler's Claw. Number of lethality items is another stun connecting onto Sakura Rain on the Lulu. She is just dead right away, but now here comes the Brand doing so much damage. That's going to give a Dark Harvest stack to Mr. Clean D's nuts. Let that Jhin get a little bit of space. Graves is here to cover and potentially try and catch them overextended, but no, blue team just backing off, not getting baited into anything. Thinking about the dragon, but with no jungler here, and Graves, oh, Mr. Clean D's nuts, you gotta be careful. Stun just missing from Zeroth, and now USD Fortnite got flashing over the wall, or dashing over the wall, but still not exactly what I would do. He actually does have flash up and doesn't use it. Another interesting summoner spell choice. I think we see a lot of Graves, especially in the higher elos, typically go for Ignite Smite, and as we can see, he doesn't even use it there. Dive in the top lane. We're gonna have to back it up and take a look at that. Completely missed the action. Oh, Connor is just low. He's got a big wave, slow pushing, gets tagged by the Gwen. Oh, great flash. Jared has to flash, follow in, can't quite get on top of the buckler, and dies to the minion. So a 1-for-1, still pretty worth it for the blue team. Assuming red team doesn't really get too much off it. Cooler Than You on Xerath, gonna just clear out some vision. But overall, definitely a nice little trade there for the blue team. And again, I keep losing my scoreboard, but that's okay. We could just pull it up when we need to. Divine Sunderer parts now completed for Jared on the Poppy. He'll be all but... I mean, he'll be a huge menace once he finishes that. Definitely just some initial items being picked up. Interesting that Ziggs now is grabbing the Amplifying Tome and the Mana Crystal, because he definitely had enough then on his first back. So, whatever, to each their own. Not going to try and figure out why he did that. That would be a losing battle. Taking another look at the bot lane, about a 10 CS difference with Takumi slightly ahead. The Xerath, Cooler Than You, obviously just setting up a ton of stuns, doing a great job. Making plays here. Of course, Lulu is going to be such a threat, and great stop there by Jared using the dash blocker, and then the knockout, great flash there by Ziggs. Tosses out the super Inferno Bomb, continuing to throw things, but now here comes the Pyroclasm. Fortnite is just deleted. Not even an assist there from Poppy, only touched the Ziggs, but again, just buys blue team some space, lets them go set up the dragon. They're still a little bit down in gold. Some of that from the bot lane, some of that still from the top lane despite that dive. Connor just definitely winning that lane. Nice feat from Mr. Clean D's Nuts, dodging skill shots left and right. No mystic shots connecting from Takuni. So again, just really trying for blue team, just trying to buy space. They do scale very well, obviously. I mean, red team does too. Oh, and there's the Deadly Flourish. That's going to connect as a snare. Takumi with a great, with a great blink out, but good try on the gank. Again, a great snare. Takumi just barely, must be spamming that E until he can Arcane Shift out. Oh, gets hit by the bouncing grenade, and that'll hit Xerath as well. Another Deadly Flourish connects. I don't know if he has Arcane Shift yet, but he's able to just walk away as Glitter Lance does not quite connect. So, yeah, a lot of this, I mean, as we take a look at some of the items being bought, it looks like Jax may also be going for the Divine Sunder, and there's another Deadly Flourish come in. Takumi, you gotta start dodging these. Mr. Clean D's Nuts is just too clean. Takumi getting tagged down by the auto attacks plus picks, and now here comes the curtain call. Cooler Than You gonna walk up for the stun, and now he's taking a lot of damage. That Deadly Flourish does not quite connect, but here comes right to the Arcane. That Xerath ultimate is gonna miss all 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. You're out of the lane. Cooler Than You, you gotta do a little bit better if you want to play Xerath support. I know you've been hitting those skill shots, but not quite enough. Now, Mr. Clean D's Nuts flash auto, but Takumi able to Arcane Shift out and just barely survive. 20 health after a bit of regen. He cannot have been higher HP than that. Oh, wow. They're just throwing cooldowns left and right. The True Shot Barrage firing out. I don't even think it would have killed Jhin necessarily, but it is used and it is dodged. Whoa, first big item complete. Mythic finished off from... Oh, we totally missed that. We're going to have to take a look at that again. But by the way, Mythic completed now for Connor H as he finishes his back. Finishes the Divine Sunderer. Penguinator is in trouble again. The dash is stopped from the satchel charge. Penguinator is just deleted by Damned Boy. Fortnite on Graves again, though, just kind of able to sneak in, grab a kill with that Serrated Dirk. Ziggs is getting his abilities pinged. He's got that exhaust. I don't think he's used it once. Why take it if you're not going to use it? Another mythic item completed, by the way, D&D Boy. Grabbing the Leandri's Anguish. That is a very key item for the brand. He's just going to be doing so damn much damage. A couple plates picked up here for the blue team bot lane. They've really turned this lane around. Actually up in CS now as Connor H just continuing to jump forward. Now that he's got the Divine Sunder, it's going to be very difficult for J-Star to fight him until she has that Riftmaker complete. Arcane Shift forward from Takumi. Blue team is just too low. Oh, Sakura Rain, you gotta work on timing your flashes. Once that auto's in the air, it's gonna hit you. Lulu goes down again, 0-3-0. Despite that, still a pretty even game in the bot lane, just about a 200 gold differential. And nice playing from the Jhin, 0-0-2. No deaths despite the 0-3 support, so always happy to see that. D&D Boy making up a big difference here, up about 1,000 gold, and then J-Star down about 800. And a little bit of, a little gold difference on the ADC and support, leading to a slight lead for the red team, but blue team does have a dragon. Oh, as Connor H is just going to keep bullying. Counter-Strike has the Divine Sunder, just doing so much damage. Only 1,000 gold in the pocket for J-Star. May just pick up the plated steel caps, try and just survive until she can get that Riftmaker and scale up a little bit more. Xerath Ezreal doing what they do best here in the bot lane. Just trying to poke as much as possible, but here comes D&D Boy as Mr. Clean D's nuts is stepping up. Can't quite connect the Deadly Flourish, but he's also got the Curtain Call. A lot of slows. He finds Cooler Than You with a third shot. Forcer being set up, and yes, executed Cooler Than You. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you do it, Cooler Than You. You only get 3 shots on your ult. No wonder you missed. Well played there from the bot line, and a nice roam from D&D Boy, leveraging that power. And oh, in the top lane, I guess I spoke too soon. The Bladed Steelcast made a big enough difference for J-Star and the jungler being present to take down Connor H. So buying Gwen a little bit of space that she needs to scale in that lane. Takumi maybe stepping up a little far. Oh, he does get hit by the Deadly Flourish. Mr. Clean D's nuts continuing to step up. Play very aggressively. I like that. The Ezreal is alone. He is under tower. He has no CC. There will be no surprises here. I think they did get Vision of the Graves as well on the top side of the map. Takumi again getting tagged by that Deadly Flourish. Man, you can't keep getting snared. At this rate, he's going to have more time snared than time unsnared. Oh, yikes. Here in the mid lane. Oh, my gosh. Look at the damage from the Pyroclasm. Graves just taking so much. Burning, burning, burning. A pyre will be made for you. This brand is huge. Ziggs still with both summoners up, just not wanting to use the exhaust. Another Rites of the Arcane. He actually hits one this time. That's a bonus, I guess, but Mr. Clean D's nuts still able to dodge most of them. Takumi again in trouble. Here comes the Wild Growth, and that'll be enough for 1 kill onto Takumi. A 1-for-1. Well, Lulu's got to run away, but hey, a 1-for-1 is something. It was actually a really nice job, I thought, from Blue Team being able to get away despite starting at such a low life total. So, nice job. I mean, Blue Team honestly doing a great job coming back here. Connor H just absolutely ignoring J-Star to try and get the turret, but the Rift Herald popped by Jarad is actually going to take down the mid turret first. So, ultimately, a net positive for the Blue Team getting the first tower. Looks like J-Star is going to be able to run away since Connor was so focused on getting that tower. It's going to be the second Dragon over to the Blue Team, so continuing to turn that mid lane lead into leads for the whole map. Again, it's now actually about even in the bot lane, almost exactly even in gold. Biggest difference, of course, in the mid lane. Jungle also with a huge difference after that first tower. And that's made up for a slight difference in this, a reasonable difference in the support, and a pretty big in the top lane in favor of the red buff. Cooler Than You's just got to keep hitting all his skill shots to stay relevant, and eventually Sakura Rain will hit the point where she could just say, hey, well, here's Wild Growth, here's Help Picks. That's all I got to do. Jax, by the way, doing what Jax does best up here on the top side of the map, and here comes a fight in the bot lane. Oh, but it's a 3v3. It's D&D Boy is also here. Fortnite taking a lot of damage. Getting jumped on by Mr. Clean D's nuts. There's a Gale Force into the auto and the bouncing grenade. That's 1 kill already. Takumi is CC'd up, forced to use the flash. D&D Boy flashing forward, finding the stun. Finding a huge Pyroclasm, and here comes the Curtain Call to finish the job. Absolutely finding its mark. Cooler Than You, now forced to run away. Blue Team just demolishing that fight, picking up 3 kills. Again, D&D Boy using that advantage to just bring some help to the bot lane. Mr. Clean D's nuts, too clean with the Curtain Calls, hitting every single one. And again in the top lane, poor Connor H. This is what people say when they will say top lane is an island. Look how ahead he was. He finished that Divine Thunder, and now he is just getting ganked. His team is losing. You can already tell he's typing jungle diff in all chat. But no, it's a bot diff. It's a mid diff. Maybe it's jungle diff a little too. Maybe it's top diff, who knows? We'll see. Here's J-Star continuing to get a little bit of pressure. Well, they do have Vision of the Jhin, but Mr. Clean D's nuts able to sneak away. Up a full level now on Takumi. Gale Force plus Serrated Dirk plus Boots of Swiftness going to be such a huge power spike, a very strong point. For Takumi, but for Takumi also, I mean, a reasonably strong point. He's got the Divine Thunderer, but of course his big power spike comes when he picks up the Manamune. And transforms it into the Muramana. That 2-item Ezreal is a huge threat, and he's not even close. So, right now, I mean, these 2v2s should be going pretty well. Weird to see Leandri's Anguish picked up by Cooler Than You. Neither Blue Team bot lane are particularly tanky. Don't really have a lot of HP. Not a huge fan of him picking up that item. Doesn't seem like it's super useful here. And yeah, Takumi just giving Mr. Clean D's nuts all the space he wants at this point. Recognizes that he is just doomed. And look at Connor, he is AFK split pushing. He's going for the scrump, and let me tell you, he is gonna die again. Here's D&D boy coming in for the gank. Starts it off with the Pyroclasm, gets the stun, procs the passive, and now here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb. Connor H actually doing a lot of damage in the trade, and meanwhile, by the way, in the bot lane, Jared stepping up for the gank, so blue team making cross-map plays. What is Penguinator doing? He's just sitting in the mid lane. Sure, he threw a Mega Inferno Bomb, but it just wasn't enough. Blue team just doing a lot more right now with all their resources. And here comes a Shurelya's, yet another deadly flourish. 4th shot. Goodbye. Rampage for Mr. Clean D's nuts. Now Mr. Fortnite Cred is in trouble as well under his tower, but it does not have a lot of HP. Blue team actually going to let him limp away, say we want the tower instead. Looks like they should be able to finish off the top turret as well. Complete swing of the game from slightly behind up about 5,000 gold now at this point, taking down all 3 outer turrets. Just great roams from D&D boy. Great mental by the bot lane, staying in the game, and now just absolutely dominating after the poke and another knock up there. Deadly Flourish gonna seal the job. Mr. Clean D's nuts, more like Mr. KS D's kills. As it's a great knockup from Poppy, great Deadly Flourish. He's the ADC. He's supposed to be getting those kills, all you haters. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Don't be flaming. Now Connor has decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm taking this game into my own hands, but he gets stunned right away off the Counter-Strike, forced to flash away. Blue team happy to just disengage. Well, Poppy's not. Gerald wants in. Connor H looking for his way back into the fight. You know he's tilted. He's just been ganked over and over as he pushes his lane out. He wants more fights on his terms. But at this point, blue team is just so strong. Mr. Clean D's nuts, sitting on 2k gold in addition to his power spike. Toss out the Deadly Flourish, but actually going to get tagged up by a fair amount of skill shots. Forced to kite back, but now Takumi is hit by the brand, and that crit wasn't even the 4th shot, and it just deleted Takumi right away. Oh, and wow, Mr. Clean D's nuts stronger than even I realized. Now he's going to pop the curtain call. He's going to look for Fortnite. Fortnite taking a lot of damage. Here's Gwen. The dash over the wall is going to be enough. Fortnite Red is burning down from the brand. It is only enough for now. Let's see if he can get another dash, but no, here comes Gwen. Look at that damage. Who said Gwen needed Ignite? Definitely not me. That would be a silly thing to say. She clearly does plenty of damage now that she's got that Rift Maker complete. Just overall, a great showing right now from the blue team. And look at, I mean, they're all like sitting on a bunch of gold too. 2,600 for Jhin. He's going to back and buy like a collector and change. 2k for Poppy. Gonna be able to back and pick up potentially the full Dead Man's Plate. So it's just not really getting better for red team. I mean, maybe if you can get Takumi to the mana immune, but that's 800 gold. It's gonna be tough for him to get 800 gold worth of farm. He's just gonna get blown up in these fights, and yes, it is collector plus Kirchase Shard picked up for Mr. Clean D's nuts. He is just going to pop people. Get ready for the collections. Looks like Brand is working on the Rylai's Crystal Scepter as well. The Dead Man's Plate was completed for Jared. Eclipse plus Serrated Dirk. I mean, that's fine for Fortnite, but he is just going to get blown up in these fights as we've seen. Similarly with Takumi, with Cooler Than You just getting absolutely obliterated. You know, the Leandry's just not making a ton of sense. The Oblivion Orb not making a ton of sense. I guess it's for J-Star, but they haven't really seen each other much. There's no real healing on Mr. Clean D's nuts or Sakura with the Shurelya's instead of the Moonstone Renewer, which is pretty standard now. So, you know, the game's not looking great for red team. They've really got to scale, and here comes Jax Leap Strike plus Counter Strike. The Jax is doing a lot of damage, but he's just going to get stunned into the wall, get taken down by the Gale Force, get collected. Mr. Clean D's nuts tossing out the emote for good measure. He knows this poor Jax stomps his lane and then just gets put in the ground by the jungler, the mid laner, now the ADC and support. Mega Inferno Bomb coming out, doing a little bit of damage. Again, a Leandry's picked up. 2 Leandrys on the red team against like 1.5 tanks. Not really what I would do. I think you need that Luden's Tempest in these situations. Mr. Clean D's nuts, though, looks like he's going to get jumped on by 4 people. True Shot Barrage comes out. Vice King comes out, but no. Just kidding. You know who's getting jumped on? It's Takumi. If one piece of CC hits you, you're dead. collected again by Mr. Clean D's Nuts. He is all of a sudden 9-1, 700 gold bounty, extremely strong. Blue team continuing to pressure their lead. They're up 6,000. They're just knocking down turrets, knocking down kills. And now they're going to look mid to start cracking the inner layer of turrets. Or are they? Just kidding. D&D Boy says, just kidding. I am going to do so much damage to Fortnite cred. And Mr. Clean D's Nuts says, Dear Graves, you're collected. Another kill in the Jhin's pocket. Make it 10-1. Continue to just be so strong. Look at this blue team. They are having fun. They are so ahead. They don't need to worry about anything. They got 3 dragons. They're all of a sudden up 7k gold at 24 minutes. They're up 16 kills, 4 turrets. Just seems like nothing can go wrong. And again, red team is going to have a very hard way back in this fight. Oh, and yeah, looks like the Ezreal has mental boomed. That is an excellent build coming out of Ezreal. Oh, Takumi, you were so close to your power spike too. The only possible way you won this game is if you just bought that damn Muramana and tried to carry a fight, but no, it is definitely too late. And now, let's take a look at the blue team items. Demonic Embrace coming out, of course, I should have known that, not Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Oh, Fire Cannon is done for Mr. Clean D's Nuts, and pop collected, Connor H dead again, 2-7, top diff. So unfortunate for that Jax, he really was doing great in lane, but unfortunately, the great roams from D&D Boy, great roams from the Poppy, and now all of a sudden Mr. Clean D's Nuts out of nowhere is just enormous. Has played the game very, very well, been able to play safe, didn't die in lane, and now is just so strong and is basically two-shotting everyone. The Jhin is at his best power spike again. Ezreal could be there, but he sold all his items and bought this garbage, so... Oh well, I would say that raises blue team's chance of winning pretty high, but hopefully we get to see at least 1 or 2 more good fights. I like watching people get collected by Mr. Clean D's Nuts. You love watching people get collected. Split pushing coming in here from the blue team, just putting a ton of pressure in multiple lanes. Tier 2 turret is down in the bot lane. Gold lead continues to balloon. Dragon Soul is coming up shortly. If red team isn't winning now, they're definitely not winning when blue team has Mountain Soul, I'll tell you that. Oh, and here comes Connor H stepping up again, leap striking away, but uh-oh, here's Brand, here's Curtain Call. Stun missing, but the second hit of Curtain Call coming through, third hit of Curtain Call coming through, and a fourth hit coming through. Sniper, collected again, another execute. Goodbye, Jax. Mr. Clean D's Nuts continuing to clean up these fights as well. Here comes the Mountain Soul. Let's see if red team makes one last ditch effort. They're already down 10,000 gold. This has just gotten so out of control so fast, and now the blue buff is stolen away as well, just to add insult to injury. True Shot Barrage, no, just going into the mid lane wave. But as I mentioned, probably doesn't matter. Takumi did sell all his items and buy tank items, so really doesn't want to die. But now blue team also able to just step up to Baron. They've got the soul. This game does not looking good for red team, and I would not be surprised to see a surrender come out shortly, especially considering Ezreal's gone from troll building to sitting on fountain, so not exactly what you want to see. But to be fair, blue team has just done a great job again, totally snowballing their lead, steamrolling every lane, helping J-Star come back. J-Star played the lane about as good as he could, only died once actually, very, very decent. And then was given a little bit of love, and now is just a Gwen monster as a Zanya's as well as the Rift Maker. It's going to be so huge. Last Whisper picked up now for Mr. Clean D's Nuts, and I mean, this game has just got to be out of control. Absolutely love to see the Jhin power, and there is the FF from the red team. The flashes. Always got to use all your abilities when the other team surrenders. That is going to be the game. 27 minutes and 30 seconds, and that is a victory for the blue team. Just a great game from them. D&D Boy able to just totally snowball the game with his roams, get Mr. Clean D's Nuts just a little bit ahead, and that is all the Jhin Lulu lane needed to, again, just completely steamroll the game. Great play, great game as well from Jarad. I, again, also really like how J-Star played the game, kind of playing the lane absolutely as safe as he could, knowing that Connor H on Jax had such a lead. And then able to just turn it into a split pusher and let himself get carried. And that's a great skill to have. Well played to everyone, especially Mr. Clean D's Nuts, again, aka xxTeSLaCoiLxx on Twitch. Go check him out. and see you next time.